up her bedroom door. But for whatever reason, he couldn't get it open. They told her that maybe he had just broken in, maybe just minutes before she walked through the front door. And when she came in, she startled him. Whatever his plan was, she ruined it. So in a panic, he dove onto the couch against that inner wall, tucked himself under a blanket, and hoped she wouldn't notice him. But she did. And when they made eye contact, police said, that's probably when she went from being a bystander to a witness. And once you're a witness, you can easily become a target. They told her she was incredibly lucky. If she hadn't locked her door, something she normally never did, there's a very good chance that man would have gotten in. And nobody knows what he would have done. What started as a quiet night after a party almost turned into something much, much worse. To panic, she said, "Mom, we need to go. Now." Without saying another word, her mom hit the gas and blew through the stop sign. The truck roared forward, and Misty kept her eyes on the mirror, watching that girl get smaller and smaller in the distance, still sitting, still rocking, never once turning around. They didn't say much on the rest of the drive home. It was like neither of them wanted to process what they'd just seen, like saying it out loud would make it more real. When they finally got home, Misty's mom locked every door and window in the house and wouldn't let her daughter out of her sight for the rest of the night. Over the next few days, Misty couldn't stop thinking about that girl. How still she was. How silent. How she had somehow gone miles down the road in the span of minutes with no lights, no sound, and no way to explain it. A few weeks later, Misty brought the story up to a girl in her math class. She was careful, trying not to sound too weird, but as soon as she mentioned the road outside Live Oak, her classmate's face went pale. She told Misty that her older brother had seen something there too. Same area, same description, a girl with her back to the road, rocking slowly, always appearing in places she shouldn't be. And then she told her something else. Back in the late 80s, a girl had been walking home from a school event when she was hit by a drunk driver. They said she wasn't found until the next morning, curled up off the road like she was trying to make herself invisible. The driver was never caught. After that, there were stories. People who drove too fast down that road said they saw her. Always rocking. Always alone. And if you stopped, some people said she turned around. Others said she vanished. But everyone agreed. If you saw her once, you'd never forget it. Misty never saw her again. But she also never drove that road at night. Not once. But he doesn't sleep for the rest of the night. He just lies there, wide awake, listening. Listening for footsteps, for rustling, for anything that might tell him that man is still out there. Morning couldn't come fast enough. As soon as the sun rose, Matt packed everything as fast as he could. He didn't eat. He didn't even stop to brush himself off. He just grabbed his gear and started hiking back toward civilization. The whole time, his head was on a swivel. Every sound made him freeze. Every gust of wind, every snapping twig, it all felt like a warning. He never saw that man again. When Matt finally made it back to his car, he sat behind the wheel in silence for a long time. He kept thinking about how remote that spot was, how deep in the woods he had been, and how, no matter what, that man didn't make sense. No gear, no flashlight, no sound of arrival, just there, sitting by the dead fire pit, as if he had been waiting. Matt never went camping alone after that. And to this day, he has no explanation for what happened out there in the dark. And honestly, he's not sure he wants one. He zips it up and just sits there in the dark, frozen. He can't make sense of what's happening. Someone has followed him, miles into the wilderness, only to vanish again and again into the night, never once using a flashlight, never once revealing why. Eventually the sun comes up, and for a moment Matt convinces himself that maybe it was all just some bizarre accident. Maybe this guy was just another hiker. Maybe he was drunk. Maybe he was lost. But deep down, Matt knows better. He packs up and keeps moving. No clear trail, just a map and a compass. 2 days of wandering. 15 miles, at least. He thinks he's shaken this guy, until that night, when the rustling starts again. At first, he tells himself it's an animal. But then comes the voice. Same as before. Same strange, calm tone. Do you know how to get to Bell's Canyon? Matt doesn't answer. He just stands there, paralyzed, clutching his flashlight. Then, finally, he shines it into the woods. And there he is. The same man, hiding behind a tree, watching. When the beam hits him, he growls at Matt to turn it away. And for some reason, Matt does. Again, the man disappears. Again, Matt is left alone with questions and fear. The next few nights become a blur of dread. The man keeps finding him. He never uses light. He never sleeps. He just follows, always asking the same question. Do you know how to get to Bell's Canyon? Sometimes from close by, sometimes from far off, sometimes while circling Matt's tent for hours, mimicking animal sounds. Grunting, moaning, just being there. Matt is too scared to sleep, too scared to eat, too scared to stop moving. After 3 full days of this, he finally makes it back to his car. He locks the doors, breaks down crying, and drives until he finds signal and a hotel. He thinks about calling the police. But what would he say? That some barefoot phantom followed him for 3 days through the forest? He didn't threaten him, didn't touch him, just watched, and waited, and asked. So Matt just goes home, and he never hikes alone again, and he never finds out where Bell's Canyon is. And maybe that's for the best.